Hey everybody, it's Old School Nerd, and Napalm Records released a new one today, and this is a band called Set Your Sails. Now, before you ask, no, they're not a pirate band. No, there are pirate bands, no, that's Visions of Atlantis. Close. No, yes, there's a female front singer. Yes, it's very up, yeah, but they're not a pirate. No, Set Your Sails doesn't necessarily mean they own a boat. Trust me. You know, I don't think people believe me when I say that I do this stuff live. No, you can't come up with stupid things that I say if you're not doing it live in front of people. And I am. All right, so this one came out today. It's called Best of Me from a band called Set Your Sails. Now, if you try to search the name of the band and you just type Set Your Sails, it may not come up because the O is not an O. It's an O with a slash, or is that a zero? I'm not sure. You know what else I'm not sure of? What's going on with all the pink? They're going to explain it to you. Now, here's the thing. A beautiful melodic, a little bit of aggressive, harsh vocal, female front singer, young, dynamic metal band. Luckily for us, they are more prevalent than they used to be, and that's a good thing. Having more and more diversity in metal is a good thing because it adds more creativity, okay? Because you have bands like Bloodywood, you know, they're from India. You have bands all over Japan. You have tons of bands that are from Australia. Metal is no longer just a US, European, and nobody else, okay? It's global. Now, of course, some of my favorite bands have female front singers. There are similarities, and it's a good thing. All right, you ready? This one's called Best of Me. I'll have all of Set Your Sails information in the description below, so please check them out from Napalm Records. Here we go. In 3, 2, you thought I was going to give you the finger, didn't you? You thought I was, see? That's what happens. You're not paying attention. Let's go. Dick.
My skin, I am listening. Can't breathe, can't live. You got the best of me. I need to hide the words I cannot speak. I think I know how to let go, but I guess that we both know. Can't breathe, can't live. You got the best of me.
All right, we're gonna go into the second verse. How do I know? Because that's how songs are written. Duh. All right, so before they come back off of this chorus and they're doing a musical, they're bringing a musical tag to come back, a hook to come back to the next verse. Really excited about this band. I'm excited about all bands that have this kind of setup, and this is what I love about them. You have bands like Red Handed Denial, Sixth Sense, and you know, you have Seeker Pearl. These are all independent bands, even though some of the members of the bands are quite famous. Like, you know, for Sixth Sense, you have Vicky Sarakis, and for Red Handed Denial, you have Lauren Babick, and you know, but you also have other bands, you know, like Future Palace, right? And these are all bands that all share kind of a similarity in the makeup of the band. And yes, they're all great at storytelling and metal and how they present themselves. If you're liking all of the different bands that I just mentioned, you're probably going to love Set Your Sails because they all have similarities, but they're all unique. Like if you look at Future Palace, some of the ethereal vocals and some of the creativity that's a little bit more interpretive that you just saw from Set Your Sails. That's kind of like a future. They love doing that there. The aggressive, harsh vocal and in-your-face style, well, that's Redheaded Denial. That's Sixth Sense. You know, that's Lauren Babick and Vicky Sarakis. I mean, we know these ladies for what they do, and their bands kind of reflect that. This band here is also doing something where they add a little bit more of a electronic feel, a little bit more of a house vibe, both in the vocal effect and also in the music. So that lends to other bands. So my favorite part is if you take the time and go through your suggesteds. You guys don't know this, but Napalm Records is not dumb. They know what people love, okay? And right now, it's creativity in music, okay? So this band is definitely checking the boxes right there, all the way along the line. So is their sound unique? Yes. What you don't want to do is, oh, well, they're just like Redheaded Denial, or they're just like Sixth Sense, or they're just like, you know, they're just like, you know, Future Palace, or they're not. They're very unique in how they approach things. The creativity of this band is kind of an amalgamation. It's the best of all the worlds. This is my first reaction to something they've done. Their last song, I actually couldn't do a reaction because I watched a reactor's reaction to their song, and I started watching this reactor. It's someone you know, and they were doing a reaction to a previous song from Set Your Sails, and they started playing the song, and I was so caught up in it that I forgot that I have to stop watching and go make my own reaction live. So rather than lie to everyone and say, oh, it's a reaction, it wasn't. I had already seen the video. Luckily for me, this one comes out today. It just came out. So I couldn't spoil it for myself. But I did know what I was getting into because I have seen a Set Your Sails video and listened to some of their music beforehand. So yeah, I kind of like this a lot. I have a guilty pleasure, I'm not going to lie. As a father of 3 daughters, there's something about female vocalists in metal that are not straight operatic, that are not just straight this style or that style, stuff that was set forth in the industry decades ago, where the female front singers or female musicians or whatever, like you have bands right now like Conquer Divide, all female, and they're amazing. Plush, you know, there's just so many bands out right now where women no longer have to be, you know, we just lost Tina Turner yesterday, right, guys? Okay. And everyone talks about how Tina Turner was a diva. And I disagree. I disagree. She went after music like the guys. She was a rock and roll queen. Like, she wasn't like standing in a ball gown at a Video Music Awards or at the Grammys, you know, wearing a pretty dress and doing what was acceptable. She was out there in high heels and a short skirt, or she came out in chainmail, you know. To me, she was the queen of rock and roll because she fought like everyone else. Like, there was no, forget lines. Tina Turner was the line. So we lose Tina Turner, and in honor of the loss of such a great, great artist, I'm happy to see that her take no prisoners, stand out, face everything head on like a boss. That's what I love about a lot of the metal bands that incorporate different genders and races and creeds. And metal's now become kind of I call it a bag of Skittles. I mean, it's all different flavors. It's just metal for a long time was so stuck in a structure that it was all the same thing. And if you did have something that was a little different, then the band was only famous because of that one difference. Now, if you have a female front singer, or you have a female guitarist, drummer, or you're all female, that's not special. And that's a good thing. When there's so many out there The thing that used to be a cliche, a thing that used to be something so unique that everyone just paid attention to the fact that it was different and didn't pay attention to the music. Now, not the case. Now you have to come up and stand on your laurels and you have to stand on what you create. And I'm happy to see that. I'm gonna shut up now. I got off my soapbox. Look, Tina Turner died yesterday, everybody. So when I see a video with a powerful female and she's just out there and she's not conforming to any set rules and just making music, putting out the art, my favorite thing. Why? Because it's an example that I can't even set for my daughters. I can't. I'm not a woman. But I can always show them these amazing women and say, look, if anybody tells you you have to do this and this because you're a girl, go listen to all this music your dad's giving you, watch all these videos your dad's reacted to, and realize that's bullshit. You do what you're going to do. You do it better. Like this. That was pretty cool. All right. Doing Tina Turner proud. Good job. All right. That was Set Your Sails Best of Me from Napalm Records. Everything I went on that ramble about halfway through the song, I meant every word of it. I grew up in the 80s. I was born in the 70s. My first music was from the end of the 70s. And I grew up when metal really became industry standard. And then I watched it change and I got away from it. And now that I'm back to metal, you still see a lot of bands that are doing that industry metal stuff. And they're big and they're doing well, and that's great. But there's so many labels like Napalm Records who have some classic metal artists that still do traditional metal, still do that kind of radio formatted metal because that's what they love to do. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. But I'm just excited that I live in a time where my kids and metal fans now can see everything. From a tiny band in Chicago, a 3-piece like Secret Pearl, or, from Toronto, Red Hand of Denial and Six Sense, and or you go over to India and see Bloodywood, or you go over to Japan and Throw a Rock. You'll hit a metal band. Or you go down to Australia where they're doing it completely different. When I was a kid, you didn't have that. You had whatever was played on the radio, and record companies were paying a lot of money to push their artists because whatever was on the radio, that's all you got. And now, y'all get it all. Y'all, the young people are so lucky because they get it all. They get to just literally pick and choose type of metal they love. And nobody's telling them that they have to do a certain type. And I absolutely love that. I'm excited that in 2023, I can honestly tell you, I went back and looked at all my reactions. My reactions. Do you know what the percentage of my reactions have at least one woman member of the metal band? At least one? 79% of my reactions have at least one woman. At least one. In the 80s, I think there was one. It was Lita Ford, and then when she stopped doing it, they put in another woman. Yeah. Now doesn't matter. Oh, and how many of my reactions do not come from the US? Do you know that? How many of my reactions so far in 2023 are bands from outside of the country I live in? So therefore, they're not on the radio. 84%. How many of my reactions come from places where the band does not come from either a mainstream European country or the US? 38%. So it's not a majority because a lot of the metal I watch is from Europe and the US because there's a lot of metal coming out of Europe. Let's not be honest. They're going through a renaissance right now. So what I'm saying is I can honestly say that right now is probably, I think we've reached the pinnacle of metal creativity about what you can do. Because now that AI is starting to come out, and I'm hoping everyone just rejects that crap because it just takes away from the artist. Computers are not artists, by the way. I know. I'm a computer engineer. I'm a network engineer. I know it's not. It shouldn't be done, but people do it. Hey, it's the new thing. So, all right, everybody. This was Set Your Sails Best of Me, and they're really kind of showing that we're all really lucky these days because there's such a palette of amazing music. So with that, thank you so much, and we'll see you later. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like. It really helps the channel grow. Also, if you want to subscribe, right there. Big thank you to all my Patreons out there. We appreciate everything you do. If you want more content like this video, check them out above. Remember, love one another, take care of each other. We're all stuck on this mud ball together. We'll see you later.